Seems to me there were two attempts to break, maybe through between April 10 and 11. On the first attempt, we formed a convoy and drove towards Volnovaka. But then it became clear that we were being targeted, and all their guns were aimed at the road where we were.
Were you traveling in a convoy?
Yes, we were driving in a convoy. We set off, and after a while our convoy came under heavy fire and suffered severe losses. When the shelling started, we were right under a bridge. I hid under the bridge, crawled under it, and sat there until the shelling ended. Then we tried to dig ourselves into the ground with another guy, using our automatic weapons. We also dragged the wounded tank driver there. His nickname was Sidi. We dragged him there because his ribs were broken. He dug with his feet, and we dug with our AK guns, so that if the bridge collapsed, we would at least stay alive. And suddenly, if there was a sweep, at least we could defend ourselves. We dug in there more or less. Well, and then I start looking around. Well, we're pretty much dug in there now, more or less. We went, found the fire station there, and went down into the basement. And also, the Russians saw us there anyway and began shelling the area with mortars.
Before you ended up in the basement, you also mentioned that you tried to save a life?
Yes. Then, when things calmed down a bit, we went to get all the wounded. We got as many wounded as we could. And also, well, we went up the hill and seen that the field was just covered with the bodies of the fallen. Many of our people were killed there. And also, then I went down to the bridge and saw my friend, my brother in arms. I couldn't save him.
What was his name?
Andriy Soskida. He was a soldier in the 128th Mountain Assault Brigade. And he was lying there. He had 2 holes in his legs. And I tried to save him, but he needed urgent medical evacuation. And I didn't have the medicine I needed to save him.
Was he conscious?
Yes. He was still conscious, but then his pulse became weak. And that was it. And I put on him my tourniquet, even though I shouldn't have done that. With his last breath, he told me to tell his mother, his daughters, all his relatives, that he loves them so much. I promised him I would.
Did you keep your promise?
Yes, that was one of my 2 main tasks that I had to complete when I returned from captivity. I constantly thought about how I could do it. And I kept thinking, well, what's the best way to do this? When I returned, a friend from my brigade wrote to me and asked if it was me in the photo from the prisoner exchange. I confirmed it. She asked if I knew what had happened to Andriy. I said that I did. I even contacted the coordination headquarters for the treatment of prisoners of war about this. I called the 128th Brigade, and they said they didn't have any information. But then they found some, and I called his wife. She couldn't believe me. She said she still doesn't believe it, even though they have already buried him.